right, let's get some things absolutely certain here. This squad isn't fit for purpose, especially with the new manager and the new formation that United are going to want to be playing. January is going to be absolutely critical that we get the right sort of things done. Now, Amorim's got a big job on his hands. Where we are in the table is an absolute piss take, but we're actually not that far away from being able to look at some of those higher European spots and go, well, with a bit of run, we might actually, but... And then reports come out that United are going to have a modest budget, which means cock all in real money, right? So I think you're going to have to look at how you can raise some money. I thought, and the second he was appointed, and even probably when it was still Erik Ten Hag, I was thinking, we need loans. We're going to have to go to the loan market to try and bring some goals in. I thought that whether Erik Ten Hag was the gaffer or whether it's Amorim that's in charge. And I think that's still going to be the case. I think loans will be quite fruitful for us. But I also think we need to make some sales. Now, as I said a second ago, sales are going to be a big part of the priorities this January because we need to raise funds that we're going to spend. So I'm going to list a few players that I think we might be able to offload, bring a little bit of money in, and then look at how we can go and spend that money, because I don't think there'll be a lot. I also think the club's playing the game a little bit. Rather than just doing the Ed Woodward thing of we can do things in the transfer market others can only dream of, fucking chode. I think Ineos are coming out and going, oh, we're skint actually, which is a good position to be in, because you don't want to let people know that you've got money, because then you get your ass handed to you. If you tell people you're skint, you can go into those meetings and try and lowball people. It's the future. Anyway, start your betting journey with confidence. Sign up with Hollywoodbets and enjoy their exciting new player bonus. Here's the deal. Register, deposit £10 or more using your debit card, place your first £10 or more bet on any sportsbook market with minimum odds of 1.5, and if the bet loses, you will receive a £10 free bet as a bonus. Your free bet can be used on a multiple bet with 3 or more legs and needs to be used within 3 days of being credited. For full terms and conditions, check the link in the description. Remember, you must be 18 years of age or older to register. And as always, gamble responsibly. If you need support, check out begambleaware.org. Bet responsibly and enjoy. First up, Anthony. Let's not pretend we're turning Anthony into a wing back. We're not, right? His attitude's not right, and the ability's not there. Manchester United is not the right club for him. He needs to be moved on. We spent big. It was ridiculous at the time that we spent big on him after we'd supposedly come to the conclusion he was worth about 30 million, and then someone authorised the signing of him for 80. It's absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. If I'd have told you, lads, I'm looking at a house, I've got 300 grand, or I think it's worth 300 grand. In fact, I've had a valuator around. They've told me the house is worth 300 grand. I'm going to buy it for 800. You'd have been like, oh, are you some sort of prick? What are you doing? United did that. We need to cut our losses and get it off because it's killing us. And we actually need a house that we can live in. So the reality is it's time to go. It was a mistake. Don't allow that mistake to hang around like a bad smell. Get rid of it. Acknowledge the mistake. Cut your losses. How much are you going to bring in, Steve? I have no idea. I'm going to be honest with you. Not a clue. Not a clue. 15 mil? Surely. Can't be less than that, can it? 15, 20 mil. He's on a relatively long contract. 20 mil. Someone will buy him for 20 mil. I've seen a lot worse players go for 20 mil. Number 2, Casemiro. I would like Casemiro to get to the end of the season and continue the good run of form that he's in at the moment. But while he's in this good run of form at the moment, that might be the perfect time to try and move him on. And I think you'll get 10, maybe 15 mil for him. His wages are obviously going to bring that down by a hell of a lot. But, he started this season pretty well. He's been outside of the Liverpool game where he was awful. He's been pretty solid this year. And there are reports suggesting that he could leave us as soon as January. Now, the good form, there might even be 20 mil in there for him. I think more like 15 and maybe even 10, to be honest with you. So what's that brought in? 30 mil? We're just going to have to presume United have got a little bit in the kitty to be able to go and do something. Maybe there's a Maguire, maybe there's a Lindelof, maybe there's a youth player that's done a little bit all right that we want to move on. Maybe it's a bigger name. I think those are the two very obvious ones you could look to move on. I don't think, even if you wanted to sell the likes of Luke Shaw, think his injury record at the moment means that there'd have to be someone extremely desperate to take a punt on him. And I just don't envisage that being a thing. I think Anthony, because of the circumstance he finds himself in, and Casemiro, because of the circumstance he finds himself in. Otherwise, I don't know. Could you maybe move Sancho on? Probably not, right? Because if it's going tits up for him at Chelsea and, Chelsea are not happy with him and all the rest of that sort of stuff, who's going to want to buy him? Now, even Saudi Arabia is going to be like, probably not, lads, I reckon. So what we're going to sign? Well, I think you have to start with a wing-back, a left wing-back, actually, more than anything else. None of our natural left backs are close to fitness, let alone the quality of the new role that you're hoping to be playing. Harry Amas might be the answer, but there's no evidence he's the answer because he's not been given any opportunities so far. He's got 4 or 5 weeks where he could make the club go, actually, should we just roll it out till summer with Harry Amas? Maybe. And that gives the time for these lot to all end up getting fit. Luke Shaw, once upon a time, would have fit that position really well. He probably now fits the left side centre half as well, if not better. Malacia is young enough to probably go on and do something in that position, but there's no guarantees of either of their reliabilities. You've not seen either of those play that position. You haven't seen either of them play this season. And throw Harry Amas into that as well. We've not seen him play this season either in the first team. So I don't think that's going to happen. Now, one option for us is Samuel Lino from Atletico Madrid. I reckon you might be able to get him for about 20 mil. So Samu has been dubbed Atletico's best signing in years, which might mean that price has to go up a touch. But he was initially a winger and he was adapted to that sort of left wing back role at Atletico. Last season, he got 8 goals and 8 assists in 46 games. Really good season, really strong. Very, very happy with that from a left wing back if he was at United. I think he's got the potential to join United for cheap and have a similar impact to Mazraoui in terms of the graft, the versatility, and make that left side his own. And I think he would work really, really well in Amorim's system because his link-up play is excellent. He's a bit of a 7 out of 10 every single game kind of guy. He hasn't really had a promising start this season. He's only got the 1 assist, but that could help in negotiations and why we're going to potentially get him so cheap. He's only 24, so there have to be a little bit of a trust put into him. I think he's a real potential budget option, and he's worth the phone call at least because you never know, especially at a club like Atletico. They do like a shiny thing. Other links, Ben Chilwell, always. You can always get a player out of Chelsea. And then we've got Alvaro as well, which has obviously been linked with straight off the bat. Ben Chilwell, he is a player that's proven that he can play the left wing back role, and he did it very well under Thomas Tuchel. He is out of form at the moment. Is there a bargain to be had there? Not sure. Cucurella completely shoved him out of the team. And now his career is almost completely shut down by that and also injuries. He's not started a Premier League game since the 2nd of March, so he's almost in the Luke Shaw sort of category. Alvaro Fernandez, gone to Portugal, done very well in the Championship, unproven at Manchester United. Is it different? Yeah, it's different. Is he worth the gamble? I mean, you guys let me know in the comments what you think on that. 2 midfielders. Now, Amorim demands a lot from his midfielders, and there are few who can actually live up to the intensity that's required from him. We are beginning to see a new guy that's reminiscent of the player that we hoped we bought, so that's good. I think he will fit that system fine. And a midfielder to replace some of the lads that look like they're going to leave or probably fall out of favour with him because there's probably an imbalance. I think Nico Gonzalez from Porto, again, another 20-25 million. I think that's a name that's going to attract a lot of interest, probably across Europe, actually. His stock is rising. No surprise when you look at the class found in a lot of the Porto performances over the last 12 months. He's at the centre of those. And he's everywhere. You'll find him on the left, you'll find him on the right. He'll cover ground. He advances the play sensationally. Porto play real nice football, and Nico is a massive instigator of that. He's formed a real strong double pivot with Aaron Varela, and the two of them kind of run shit for them in Vita Bruno's system. And I could see him slotting in the squad as a real quality central midfield option, probably behind Kobe Mainu in the pecking order. But I think he's another cheap one, 20 million or so. He's only 22, plenty of room and time for him to grow. And then a bit more of a spendy one and a bit more of a bigger name. Goretzka, Bayern Munich. What happened to not getting quality players out of Bayern Munich? We got 2 recently. 3rd time's a charm, maybe. it's pretty much set in stone that Eriksson is going to be on his way out of the club. So another midfielder is required in that kind of mould. And I think another Bayern Munich player, if we can do it, for supposedly about 30 million is Goretzka. Now, he is a battler. For some reason, it hasn't worked out at Bayern for him currently, but that makes him feel like a little bit of a high-risk, high-reward kind of player. Things could go very, very well with him because he is a serious footballer. But there's also a little bit of uncertainty. The Goretzka's been on United's list for a long time, probably because of the pedigree that we've seen him play at. He's probably very appreciated by different United fans. I don't know, it feel like it feels very much like a De Ligt sort of signing, doesn't it? And that one's worked out so well. So I wouldn't mind seeing us go for that. Someone that's got a little bit of European experience. There's a couple of options there. Now, obviously, none of those are Ballon d'Or candidates, but I've tried to cut my cloth according to what's available and what's needed. And you could argue there's probably still not a lot of goals been brought in there. Maybe that's where the loan market comes in. Should we do a video looking at who may or may not be available on loan? I think that's probably a good idea, isn't it? That's a harder one to sort of pick out because you're looking at players that are... You're looking at a player that's probably out of form, hence why they would be allowed to go on loan. No one who's scored 20 goals already, if there's anyone even scored 20 goals already this season, but nobody who's got 10, 12, 15 goals in a season is going to be allowed to go on loan. So you're looking at someone who's out of favour, out of the team, drop down in the pecking order from where they should be. That's where you get your value in the loan market. And I absolutely think United need to be going and getting some value in the loan market in the goals department. It's going to be a hard one to find, but I'll do a video where we try and throw out some ideas and some names, and maybe they're totally unrealistic, maybe there's a little bit of something in them, but we'll have a look. Anyway, cheers for tuning in. Give us your thoughts on those as sales and signings, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Laters.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.